Welcome back to Facebook Live with me, Linda, here at Landlay by Kenya at Valley View. I don't know why you haven't come to our offices yet. You're welcome every Monday to Saturday, and on Saturdays we work from 9 to 1. You can come and get to know us and learn more about land investments and how you can participate in opening a portfolio for yourself in real estate, and how you can participate also in startups in blockchain. Last week, we went through benefits of being in a Chama, and we first defined what a Chama is. And a Chama is merely a group of people who have the same interests, especially when it comes to investment, and they come together in sort of a pool and bring their money together, their ideas together, and then they grow in that way through monthly or quarterly or whichever time frame they've made, or agree to do contributions that will help towards the plans or will help them to implement the ideas that they did. And I promised that I would come back and talk you through what you should look for or look out for when you are planning to join or begin a Chama. And I know most people like to join existing Chamas because it's a lot more convenient and it saves you the hassle of having to organize a group of people, find interested parties, and then register the Chama and all those things. But then we look through just things you should look at when you are wanting to join a Chama or to start one. And if I could just go through some of the benefits we talked about, and one of my favorite was the fact that nowadays, instead of just being social groups, Chamas have become a space where you can learn a lot. They've become a place where you can get rid of your fear of investments because you have people who are doing it with you. You can learn consistency when it comes to saving and things like that. And you have a lot more variety when it comes to business ideas. Yeah. So those are some of the most amazing things that would make me just be happy to stay in the Chama that I'm in or want to join a new one. So today, as I said, we'll talk through the things that you should look at or consider when you're joining a Chama or before you join a Chama. And one of the things would be just looking in the mirror and looking at yourself to find out what would be a good fit for you. And some of the things you look at when you look in the mirror are your interests. What are you interested in as a person, without even considering money things or ventures? As a person, as Linda, what am I interested in? Do I like books? Do I like movies? And so that, of course, would make me want to see what type of age group would apply the same ideas or the same living types of ways in their lives. And then that would also make me want to know, if I am 21 years old, for example, what is my risk tolerance, and I know I could afford to risk this much amount because I have time to make more if I lose some. I know my age, I know my interests, I know my needs, especially when it comes to investment. I know my needs when it comes to being in a social group. And so when I have a list of Chamas, assuming I've got like 4 I'm considering, to know which one is a better fit for me, I'm going to look at their interests, their needs, their age, and their risk tolerance, so that I know, okay, if I join this particular Chama, then yeah, we're going towards the same direction. So the number one thing you should look for is which Chama would be a good fit for me as a person in my situation, who's at the age I'm in and who bears the same interests that I do. Yeah. Second thing you need to look at would be the founders. Chamas don't just evolve out of nothing. People came together. Usually it starts with 2-3 people, influencers mostly, who will think, I want to start a Chama because I have this type of vision or this dream for a group of people, and I want to go and carry my friends with me. Someone said that if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go really far, then you go with other people. And so the people who start Chamas usually have that kind of mentality, and you need to look at them and see first also what are their interests, what was their initial dream for the Chama, have they been consistent and committed to that dream or mission, and so that when you join, it's not going to be a waste of time. And then if there are people who keep shifting goalposts, that you can anticipate changes And if you like that type of thing, then yeah, you know. So founders are important for you to see the direction, the growth, the type of Chama that is, and if it will suit your type of way or what you want to do. You know, you need to know also if their intention started with just being a support group for one another, or they had started as a purely financial investment type group, and how they've changed so far and how they've handled those changes and leadership roles and things like that. Yeah, the third thing would be the members. You have to look at the members. I know most of us who've joined Chamas had maybe 2 friends who were there, or 1, and they came and told us how the Chama is something amazing, what they've been able to achieve, and how it would be good for us to join. And we went in head first without really saying, okay, I'm really seriously considering joining, but I want to come and sit there. In one engagement, you don't have to discuss serious matters, but I want to observe, interact with the rest of the members so that I can know what type of people they are, and then just if they are a good fit for me. You need to see, just as you continue to gauge yourself, do these members come from a low-income space, or are they affluent? And where are you in that space? Is the group made of members who are family members, or are they friends? Are they colleagues? Are they church people? Then you will know if you're going to fit. If you don't want a religious type of setting, you don't go joining a Chama that was evolved from a Bible study. If you don't want to be in a Chama that's only women, and you want a mixed space where people can throw in different types of ideas, then you can't join a Chama that is only female only. If you don't want to feel like you're the odd one out, don't join a Chama that is made of family members only. And how do you know how you'll fit or not fit? Is when you look at the members and interact with them a bit. Yeah, you also don't want to join a Chama where they've decided we only come from a such and such affluent background, because you might not be able to keep up, or you might not also want to join a low-income group of people because they might be too slow for you, or you might be wanting to contribute more or attempt bigger ventures. So you have to look at the members as well. The fourth thing is the activities in relation to your own needs. There are some Chamas who, for example, I could give an example of a Chama that is made up of couples, and so they usually have planned an end-of-year getaway, like a couple thing, and they will travel to a destination, and they look forward to this activity the whole year. They talk about it, they plan for it, they set aside finances for it. So if you're a single person, the going away couple thing at the end of the year is nowhere in your needs type thing. It's not in your priority list. So what are the activities that this Chama does? Could be that marriage thing, could be swimming, you're not interested, could be traveling, you don't like traveling. So the activities also will inform if that would be a great Chama for you to join, okay? You might also be looking for a Chama where people just focus on education things, and they bring in experts of different subjects to talk about stuff. And if you like that type of thing, you look for a Chama that engages in those types of activities. The fifth thing, and which is one of the really important ones, and it's ruined so many Chamas and given people bad experiences, would be not considering the contribution amount and the frequency. Chamas are exciting spaces, and the achievements give so much joy, but you have to look at yourself in relation to the contribution that these people have been giving. You have to look at the history. I know some people start at 500, maybe they start together in campus, and then they move on to the job market, and they move the bar higher, and now it's 2,000, and then in a couple of years they're contributing 10,000, and at some point they get to 50,000. You are joining, and maybe you can afford only 20,000 a month, but then you try, and in your mind you can hack it. You do a little calculation here and there, I'll move around things in my budget. I know I'll do a side hustle and I'll make this 50. But then you haven't considered it for the long term. The fact that a Chama is a pretty serious commitment, and that there are lots of other people there who are looking at you and keeping you accountable. So you can't, it's not like your savings account where you can decide this month I'm not doing this, I need to take a rest. A Chama is serious. So you have to consider the contributions. Are you able to meet those contributions every single month at the exact time? Or you might be wanting to contribute more, but then the Chama doesn't allow that. Or you want to contribute, the type of job you have is something that pays you after 6 months, every 6 months, but then there's no space for such flexibility and you have to give that certain amount every month. Then you probably have to look for a Chama that suits your needs in terms of contribution, or you look at a Chama that the contribution system works for you at that present time, and that when it changes, because you'll be looking at history and how it's been changing, you know that the changes that you can anticipate won't be too flippant or won't hurt your investment needs or your finances. The sixth and final one would be the requirements to join. We're out here talking about us considering what to look out for our own needs, but the Chama usually has needs and it has a list of checks, yeah? So if it's a women Chama, they're going to check that you're a woman. If it's an above 35 people Chama, they're going to check that you're above 35. If it's a estate Chama, they're going to check, are you living in this estate? If it's a church, same thing. So usually all Chamas have requirements. Some requirements are pretty ridiculous, like if they've been existing for 6 years and contributing 10,000 every month, that if you're joining in 2018, you're going to have to come with the money the cumulative amount from since they started, which is usually hard on people, and people end up not joining, even if it's a really good Chama. Some are reasonable, like the fact that your stake in the Chama will be based on how much you've contributed so far or when you've joined, and that's pretty reasonable. So you have to look at the requirements the Chama itself is giving as a prerequisite for you to join, and see if it's reasonable, if it makes sense, because that also speaks a lot about the members. I saw in one of the dailies where there's a Chama that required everyone to have a passport, and I thought that was pretty good, though they had listed it in the ridiculous things people ask for, but I thought that was nice because it demanded some types of growth from you and you wanting, just having a bigger picture of I could travel and stuff like that. There's another one which now I found ridiculous, where they were asking for the husband's passport picture, which is so ridiculous, but you have to look at those types of things and see in which extreme it lies for you as an individual. Other than that, I'm sure there are lots of other things, because everybody is in a unique situation, and there could be other things that you're looking for when you're joining a Chama. There could be other general ones that you know that I haven't mentioned. So yeah, this is space also just an invitation for you to participate in this conversation by writing on the comments or tweeting us back, or just watching our video on YouTube and then sharing it on your page, and then listing some of the other things that you think are really important for other people who want to join a Chama to look out for, or to investigate, or to do some research on. So I hope you guys are considering seriously other ways of investing. We will keep talking about Chamas, because I feel like the conversation isn't talked about enough, and people think that it's just like an older generation type of thing, but investment groups have grown into huge companies. I know, and like I can't do names because we can't monetize and stuff, but you know, like all the companies that are called so and so group started from people who are like-minded, who had a business idea, financed it together, and now, well, you know where they are now. So all the best in all your ventures, and have a great weekend. See you next Friday.